Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
Today, while I did a little mini review of this issue, we're going to do it again, more in-depth, with more people and more opinions. We're going to talk about All-Star Batman number 10 from Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque. There's also a backup in there, but let's not talk about that. Also, we're going to give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. If you haven't read this issue, it's Batman and Alfred kind of teaming up and doing their own thing, solving some crimes, and finding out some more about Alfred's past. That being said, what'd you guys think of this issue? Ben?
If you like Alfred and you like Batman, then this is a great book. And I like those characters, but this was not a great book.
Fair enough. Tiffany?
I loved it.
And I thought it was pretty okay. So we got all the extremes. Explain yourself, Tiffany. Explain yourself.
All right. I love that in the face of everything that's happening in Batman's main continuity, with his dad, with his alternate timeline dad showing up, the real father is finally getting some screen time.
I agree.
And, like, I think that's awesome. And I love that he doesn't hesitate to call him a son and to recognize that he is his father.
Very much.
Love that.
That's very much Snyder's Alfred.
Right? And, like, I really enjoy that he's a capable Alfred with a sort of seedy past. Now, I'm used to animated series Alfred, who was a war hero, essentially, but we can't do that because then he'd be, like, 1,000 years old. You know what I mean?
He's
like,
already old enough.
Yes.
Well, depends on the war, I guess.
Yeah, he could be a secret war hero.
No, it's true.
God damn you.
I mean, like, legitimate, like a spy.
Not like a Marvel crossover kind
of
thing. No. Like, they could just change the war, of course. But, like, I liked where they're going with this. And I like the idea of Alfred himself having a bit of a history. Because it makes it make more sense to me that he's so on board for what Bruce is doing.
Right. Ben, why didn't you not like this issue?
I thought it muddied the waters a little bit just with Batman's motivations. I don't really see what he's doing with Hush.
Oh, right.
I was not a fan of that, like, oh, I've made this entire floor quiet for this undulating thing. Guess what the acronym stands for? It's your name. It's your name, Thomas.
No.
He wasn't doing that on purpose. Like, he owned the hotel.
Well, yeah.
And, like, I think as a courtesy to those who were utilizing the hotel, they were testing out technology to make rooms quiet.
Let's talk about some of the writing in this issue. I thought Snyder was true to form. He did a nice job. He wasn't muddled by continuity or, like, what had come before. This could have been All-Star Batman #1, for all it mattered. Also, I was happy to see the Duke was not in it because I think Duke is superfluous and unnecessary. He's redundant, and I don't care how much they push him. Not interested.
Right.
Like I said, it had shades of Black Mirror. I think it was as well written as Black Mirror.
I felt like he wrote it in a way where it could easily have just been its own standalone story. Like, it could have been a standalone, like, trade.
Yeah, and it will be.
I know, I'm just saying, like, I thought that was really, like, well done.
I agree.
I completely got that. And in that sense, like, I like that it had that sort of all-star Superman feel to it, where, like, these are just moments.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't all have to be, like, they are linear, but they don't have to be, like, one right after the other.
No, it's
They
true.
could be. They may not be. It doesn't matter. But, again, like, I know Court of Owls and some of Snyder's earlier works, everyone loves the way he wrote Batman. In this, Alfred was clearly the breakout character. Yeah. You know, like, just very...
break away from the cops.
Yeah. Just very well written. I think Snyder's own experience as a father shines through.
Oh, yeah.
In this. I liked it.
Yeah.
One of the downsides for me was the narration. I wasn't a huge fan of the whole reveal that it was Alfred because I got that from page 1. I didn't know anything about the book, and when I was reading it, I was like, oh, that's Alfred.
Oh, it's Alfred.
Oh, clearly.
And then the reveal. And Snyder likes to play with that. Yeah. He does that thing where he does the switcheroo.
But maybe he's done it one too many times, and I just caught wise this time, or something happened, but because of that, for me, it fell a little more flat.
I will say that the rereadability of Snyder is a little bit more frustrating.
Right.
Because of the big reveals or the big narrative surprises. The switcheroos are the most hurt and damaged by rereads. So yeah, I mean, like, especially if you've caught wise to his style, you know, those reveals are going to be less impactful. And, of course, as I said in my earlier review, he does the history lesson.
Yes.
And, you know, we all know where that's going and how that's going to be done, and that he can't help himself, and it's like...
I feel like, I enjoyed the journey, even if I already knew that it was going to be Alfred. And the reason I knew it was Alfred was because you said it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I had that in the back of my head.
Right, but...
Which means that technically Ben did know that, even if he didn't remember it.
That's fair.
And maybe that's it. Maybe the little piece of there,
Yeah.
just like it was subconscious. That's just like that's
Yeah.
Alfred.
That's Alfred. Do you know what Alfred?
But I enjoyed the journey regardless of knowing it, and I instead looked at it and appreciated what Snyder was attempting to do with the way he was, like, the language and the words that he selected.
Right.
One takeaway I did enjoy about this was the fact that Alfred's history does connect to whatever's happening with these villains. The fact that the guy had his heart taken out. That caught me, and it was gruesome, but I liked that. So that was a plus for me.
Totally. What'd you guys think of Raphael Albuquerque's art?
I think that man has come so far. I mean, like, I liked his work in American Vampire, but, like, it has a certain maturity that I wasn't anticipating, and I was blown away. Blown away. And the colorist, like, I can't...
Oh, the colorist was good?
I can't conceive of
In the palette?
how...
Yeah? Did you care for it?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I don't know if you noticed, but... And I don't know if you noticed, but along the edges of the pages, you could see the safe lines and the cut lines, and the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you could see the lines there, so, like, this is just the scanned artwork, and then the colors just placed over it. Like, for me, that leaves such a personal connection to the art, because, like, while, yes, you know it had to be digitally scanned and potentially digitally colored, but part of me thinks it wasn't, there's just that incredible connection where you know, like, this is their work.
Right.
And you can see elements of that, and I love that kind of work.
You dug it?
Oh, the art was good. Yeah, I liked the faces especially.
Yeah.
Especially when Batman was in the back of a car and he was just grimacing, yelling at Alfred where to go.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
saw that, I was like, that's Batman for me.
I dug it. I love the art. I think it was great. It reminded me of Jock.
Okay, I see
In
it
terms
as...
of the color palette and the
Right.
sketchiness. That's from a layman who doesn't normally, like, appreciate art. I just read comics and go like, that looks cool.
Can I meet you halfway on that?
Fine.
No. I think that he is, like, the in-between point between Jock and Dustin Nguyen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, it's just, like, you just could transition through them, and, like, that's, like, I like all of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them... I wouldn't have those three, like, do an event for me, because it'd be, like, kind of confusing. It'd be
And you'd
too
compare.
close.
Now-
Yeah, but I would have... I would work with all three of them.
How about this? You could do an event if the character was aging, and you'd have Nguyen start as younger, and
Yeah.
then Albuquerque take over in the middle years, and then, like, Jock...
just ages them.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Right? That'd be kind of fun.
No, I thought that Albuquerque's art was fantastic. Definitely check it out. Is it a recommendation for you guys? Can you recommend this book? Would you say go buy it?
For me, no.
I would say yes, again, because it's something where you can just pick it up. You don't have to have been reading All-Star Batman to be a part of this storyline. And again, like, I just think it's a nice journey of a story.
It's definitely a good jumping on point. I would recommend it. I think that out of the 10 issues of All-Star Batman, this is one of those that I would say, yes, pick it up. Check it out. And so, yeah, stay tuned for some recommendations from us for books that are coming out this week. Fresh, new books you can go pick up that we think are at least cool enough to spend your money on.
Alright, so it looks like it's an all-image week for me this week. What was Doctor Strange never coming out again? It seems like that's a lie. It's going to come out at some point, but it's just not soon enough. So I'm going to be picking up Rose #2. I recommended this book, I guess, a month ago at this point. It's about it's a fantasy story about a girl who inevitably will have a giant cat. There's all sorts of crazy things going on in this world. It is magical based. I really like that. Fantasy world, great world building. Looking forward to see where this is going. Looking forward to see giant cats. So, again, this is like a book that's right up my alley, and I desperately wish that I could be Rose and have a giant cat named Thorn, because I like the theming on that one. Also from Image, I cannot wait for God Country #5. I have been in love with this series. It's funny, when I first read the premise of the first issue about, you know, just an old man with Alzheimer's who gets a magic sword in Texas and then fights gods with it, essentially, I was like, kind of sounds cool. Not sure where this is going. I have just been enthralled with this book. We just left, essentially, the underworld in issue 4, and we're going to be taking on the next god, which is, I think it's going to be War. So I'm just so excited, and I'm not going to lie, like, normally I don't care about variants, but this week they are going to have or this month I should say, they're going to have a variant for God Country that includes a Spawn cover. There's a black and white version. Pretty sure I'm going to have to get that. Even though I'm not a huge Spawn fan, it's just too awesome looking, so I'm going to have that.
For this week, I'm going to recommend Generation X #1. It's a Marvel book that's coming out, and I have no idea who's writing it and who's drawing it, because on the Comic List site, it just is various, and when I went to the Marvel site, it was down on my phone, so who knows? But it's going to be Jubilee leading a team of young mutants. Mutants, they're cows who have powers. It's mutants.
They've got cowers.
It's Jubilee leading a team of young mutants who kind of ask the question, like, what if we don't really have powers to fight villains? What if our mutant powers are kind of lame? What does that mean for us? Are we still X-Men? Are we still mutants? Well, I mean, they're definitely still mutants, but, like, I think that's a cool thing to explore, especially since not every mutant can have an awesome crime-fighting power. Come on, there's got to be some lame mutant out there, like, you know, Aristo, maybe. But that's going to be cool. The other thing I'm going to recommend is DC book. It is Trinity number 9, written by Francis Manapul, art by Francis Manapul, cover by Bill something or other. Anyway, it's going to be Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman who are going to be on the Watchtower, and there's a traitor among the midst, or is there? All I know is, if you got these three in a secluded space, in my opinion, Batman's going to come out on top, but I'm excited to see how it works out, so I think you should pick it up.
Superman 23, written by Peter J. Tomasi with art by Doug Mahnke. More bombshell announcements about DC Rebirth through the Superman lens. I just love this series, and I guess I'll recommend Secret Empire number 2, which is written by Nick Spencer with art by Andrea Sorrentino. Better art this time, but I'm sure the cover, which indicates Doctor Strange might be in the book, is a big fat lie, since the first one was. But I am interested to see where they dare to go with issue 2. I'm curious, even if that curiosity might be morbid. I'm interested in seeing where it's going. But after 2, if they screw this up, you won't be seeing any more recommendations of Secret Empire from me.
Wait, did you say Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And that's it for us this week on Off the Rack. I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks for watching. Keep reading.